Melissa here with Elevate Tiny Home Villages. I just really wanted to talk today about the experience of being a foster parent. Elevate Villages is all about when these foster kids don't get reunited with parents and they don't get adopted. 17, 18 years old, depending on the state, they're out on their own and they've had this really um, a life full of trauma and bouncing around and not really belonging. And so that's really what most of my videos are about, that situation. But today I just wanted to talk to you as a fellow foster mom. So really to any other foster parents out there, or if you're thinking about being a foster parent, um, I just wanted to share a little bit of my experience with you, just to encourage you. So when I fostered, and I wasn't an official foster parent, I was in the right place at the right time. A little girl that I didn't know, 15 years old, was going to be put into a homeless shelter because there was no foster parents available. Her mom was getting sent off to rehab. They were being evicted, and there was no family for her to go to, no foster home, and no children's home. And so they were going to put this little 15-year-old girl who had been through a lot of trauma in her life into a homeless shelter until they found something. So I just happened to be in the right place, stepped in, said, I have a bed, spent a few hours with CPS that day. And at about 3:30 that afternoon, I had a 15-year-old and her name is Jeanette and I love her. It was a great experience, but here is some of my thinking, and I don't know if it'll help anyone, but I thought I'd just pass it on today. So when we originally got Jeanette, they told us it could be a week to a month. They said it might be longer, but probably a month. So, one, we had no timeline for sure. We had no prior assumption. You know, we didn't go into it having planned. So, my husband at the time, we sat down and we said, what can we give her? Like, obviously, she's 15. We just may have her for a very short period of time. What's the best way we can serve her besides just keeping her safe, keeping her in a safe home, keeping her fed, getting her to school? How can we serve her? Because you can't treat a foster child like your child because they're not. They haven't had a normal upbringing. You know, maybe if you're fostering babies, toddlers, you know you're going to have them a long time. You may be actually planning on adopting. That might be different. But I'm talking about a teenager who's coming into your home, whether you have other children or not. That teenager has not been raised by you since birth. So you can't apply the same parenting principles onto this child. So we sat down and we really felt like the one thing we could give her was unconditional love. Make sure that she knew she was so welcome in our home, she was safe, and that we wanted the best for her. Then number two, we decided after a couple days when we realized she hadn't been instilled the importance of an education. So after a couple days, we decided, okay, that's the second thing we'll work on. We'll just make sure she feels loved and safe. After that, we're just going to try to instill some value in education for her, because that was going to be her way and her family's way out of poverty. So we really put a lot of value to education. We made sure we made it fun for her. I went way out of my way every day to drive her to school and to pick her up and drive her back. And we kept her in the district she was at because once she got back with her mom, that way there wouldn't be too much change. So we took in consideration all of those things. And it wasn't about my convenience. It was about her. It was about the best thing we could do for her, given the situation. And that's how we handled it. We ended up having Jeanette for nearly a year. And I think what made it such a successful endeavor for both of us is just those really clear expectations of what was possible and what wasn't. She ended up going back. Her mom got cleaned up, and she wanted reunification with her mom. I offered to adopt her, and she didn't want that, and that's okay. And so she and I have a relationship to this day because I didn't try to force it to be anything besides what it organically became. We talked every day. I know the first thing she asked me was, what were some of the rules? And I hadn't thought of it. I mean, a few hours earlier, I didn't even have a child or think about having a foster. And so I told her, you know what? Let's figure this out together. I didn't pretend I had all the answers when I didn't. So if you're fostering or you're thinking about fostering, please do it. These children need good homes. Do you know that? And I'm sorry, I didn't look up this statistic before this video. I read it a couple weeks ago. Something like 85% of foster homes are poverty level. Middle class, the wealthy, they are not fostering. Like it's a small percentage, 10, 15%. Why? I don't know. It's a beautiful thing. It's not having another kid. It's taking in a human who doesn't belong anywhere and giving them a place of belonging, even if just for a month or 6 months or a year. So if you're out there fostering, I hope that helps. Just, follow your heart. Look and say, what does the child need? And what do I have to give? And then give freely. They will receive with so much gratitude. And thank you. Thank you for those of you out there doing that kind of work. It's hard and it takes time and takes a lot of selflessness. So thank you. Thank you for what you do. I hope you'll like and subscribe. We want to get this channel a place of conversation around the issues of foster children, whether they're in foster care or once they're out. So please like this video, hit subscribe, and I'll see you next time.